Good afternoon. I just want to give you an update on a company called the Match Group. They're a dating website. They own a bunch of dating websites, and the stock, like most of the stocks in the last couple of years, has done extremely well. If you look at the company from 2018, even going back as far as 2017, this was a stock that was trading around 18 bucks or so, and it's had a tremendous run from 2018 onwards to today. It hit an all-time high at one particular point of 95 bucks. So if you can you imagine you put 18,000 and then in less than 3 years you got 95,000 out of this company. It's a dating site that was spun off by Barry Diller's company called Interactive. Well, they reported earnings yesterday, and the earnings said basically that they're slowing down. Their business is overall slowing down. The estimates that they previously gave for the quarter was very high, and at the same time, the whisper numbers were even higher. For the quarter, the whisper number is 49, and they reported under 45. So what's the stock done? The stock today basically opened up between 80 and 81, and it has gone down to around 76. And this would have been a great opportunity short this morning. But I still believe this company has further downside to go. And I wanted to reiterate that these high volume lows are going to be retouched. And this is another example where you see also a high volume high here. Previously on August 7th, 2019, they must have had really good earnings, and they probably gave future expectation of earnings to be great than what the analysts expected. So this company ran up to here, it looks like from 82 to 95 in a day, which is tremendous. So, and it did it on 14 million shares. So, and the average on this particular day for the company is 2.3 million. So it did 14 million, 2.3 million. I guess all the buyers ran out and they all sold. And what happened? It dipped back down, and it seems they made another low here, which filled the gap the opposite way. So sometimes you fill gaps going higher and filling gaps going lower. And from that moment on, it has continued to go lower, as you could see this chart. And if you look at it from a very different perspective, considering where it came from, many people will argue that this is a bullish bear pattern. So, I mean, this is a bullish pattern where you see here's a pole and a flag. So this company this morning, going back to last night's earnings report, they reported bad earnings, and I believe the expectation of earnings potential for this company has really peaked. I mean, the online dating business, they've been reiterating they've been growing about 20% every single year, and I just don't see them growing over 20% every single year. And the expectation, I think, is eventually they'll go back to under 10%. So again, this is just my guess in terms of expectation of earnings going forward. But in terms of what it's doing today, it's doing right now on 5 million shares. It's around 237 Eastern time, and it's going to do above average. But I wanted to give an update because I believe this company is going to create, like most of the other stocks, will create some type of a bear flag here. And this expectation is, I believe, it can go even back higher. And if you look at the pre-market trading today, this morning, it went as high as 81.37, and if you look at it after 4 p.m., because of the earnings downfall, it went down to 72.57. So there's a projection here between 82 and 74 here, and there's another 72. So I believe once I don't think it's going to be a straight down move. Most of these stocks don't have a straight down expectation. So I could see a further pattern where it goes back up in the 80s. From right now it's at 76, and I could see this thing going back between 75 and 80, and it might even run a little bit higher. Another thing that's very valuable is that you could see here starting in January 17th until the 29th, it had every single day selling. So someone in the stock market knew about these bad earnings, because usually when you see 4 or 5 days of selling, someone knows something. So this is a stock. It's called Match Group. I will look to short it. I think this is a short potential. My target is eventually this high volume gap here. Again, anything that I suggest or recommend, this is only for educational purposes for myself, actually, and at the same time for all my viewers. So please put stops on anything, any recommendation. Again, this is only an educational video. Just want to reiterate that. So I believe this thing, the match group will hit, it's today hit 75, and I believe it's going to go probably higher now, and it might go into the 80s, but eventually it will draw a bear flag. And at that particular time, I think it's a good short candidate. If anyone has any further questions